Here we go. So welcome, Mr. Lacovara and Mr. Philip. Okay. Is it Phil or Philip? I'm used
Whatever.
to the Philip.
All my friends call me Phil. My wife calls me Philip, so maybe Phil. Maybe Phil's good.
Okay. I'm not going to ask how all the project started because, I mean, if you're in Hawaii, we all knew what happened here. It was the 38-minute crazy thing. I was
Right.
actually in bed when it happened.
Were you?
I woke up in it and I said and we used to live right next to Pearl Harbor. So
Okay.
I was my house was right next to the harbor, and I remember my husband said, "Well, we don't really have any time going anywhere, so we just have to stay. If it happens, it happens." But
Yeah.
fortunately, it did not. So,
Yeah.
Paul, my question to you, Paul, is what prompted you in coming up with this project?
Well, I was working on Hawaii 5 at the time, and I was going back and forth between the mainland and here on the weekends. And I happened to be home that weekend when it went off. And then when I came back, I heard everyone's stories about what was going on. And like one guy was in bed, he just looked at the alarm and rolled over. But then other people, like they sincerely thought they were gonna die. People were huddled together. You saw the footage of the guy putting his daughter in the sewer system, and like people were genuinely freaked out. And so I just thought this story totally writes itself, and I gotta tell this because people were so scared, and be a great story to tell. And so I actually had a dream about a couple of sequences, and I kind of combined those with the actual real life experiences of some friends' stories that I heard, and that's how we came up with the idea.
How did Philip come into the project?
Well, see, it's funny when I wrote this, I kind of wrote it with me and my family in mind and what I would do in the situation. And so my wife and I were actually in Kauai on vacation for a few days, and I was trying to figure out who I could get to play this part. And I was like, who is like me but can act better? So we're going through. I'm like, who have I doubled? And then I thought, Philip.
Oh.
And so then Heather's like, yes. And so immediately I'm like, I'm gonna call him. So then I was like, what do I say, babe? Okay, hold on. What should we do? And so then I just called him up and pitched him my deal. And he's like, yes, I'm in. Count me in. I just gotta go through a few things. Huh?
I was like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah. It was so great. It was perfect because I told him the story, and I said, but I don't have much money. It's like me financing it. And he said, all I want to do is be able to use my body while I'm still young, run and gun and jump and do the action stuff. And this sounds perfect. I'm not doing anything at the time, so count me in. I was just so grateful to have him on, and so excited that he was jazzed about it. And so that's how it happened. Really, he was on board from nearly day one, and it just kept on progressing. And of course, I had to be open to him getting a real job, and that taking him away. And so I was kind of stressed about that, but it all worked out, and worked out perfectly. I was really stoked.
So Philip, this is basically Strike Back in Hawaii.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. That was the pitch.
Okay, with a little margarita or mojito on the sides, something like that.
With some longboard lager. That's right. That was what it was.
A longboard, right? That's correct. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. You were saying something.
Well, I was reiterating what Paul said. He called me at a really good time because I was sitting down talking to my wife. It was funny because my eldest daughter, was talking about Hawaii a lot because we just got through a winter here in Montana. And she was like, we need to go to Hawaii one day, Dad. And I was like, yeah, we'll go to Hawaii one day. We'll figure it out. We'll get a job out there or something. I'm not kidding. This was probably a week before.
So crazy.
And we watched Moana, and she was listening to Moana on record every day in my office. And so all these things that sort of the universe was putting together. And then Paul picked up the phone and called me and said, hey, I got this idea. What do you think? You want to come out to Hawaii for a little bit? I said, yes. I did. Yes. Let's just do it.
Yeah.
So it was a pretty simple answer for me.
Yeah. He was pretty enthusiastic from the start, which I was really pleased about.
Yeah.
Sure.
Paul, writing wise, how long did it take you to write the entire project?
Well, I went through a few drafts. I mean, the whole script was only about, I think at first it was about 20 pages, and then I hacked it down a little bit, and I think it ended up to be like, I can't remember now, about 15 or 17, somewhere in there. And I was, since I was working on 5.0 at the time, I knew we wrapped in March. And so I had this idea since it happened in January, right after I had that idea to shoot something. And but I procrastinated as a first-time writer and director and producer, and just kept on pushing it because everyone has these dreams of doing something, and then it was like, I'll get to it tomorrow. And then, so finally around Christmas time, I was like, well, it's about to be crunch time because everyone's gonna wrap, and I need the crew, because that was my saving grace. Like, to save money, I could, poach off of Magnum and Hawaii 5.0. And so then really, I mean, it saved me hundreds of thousands of dollars, literally. And so then I started really crunching over Christmas break. And so it probably didn't take me more than a few days to get the initial draft. And then I just kept on changing some things here, changing some things there. And then I collaborated with Philip as well about some things. He didn't like the way the ending was. And once he pointed that out to me, then I totally agreed with him. And so then I changed that as well. And then we came up with it, and it was a fairly quick process, actually.
It was so funny that you talk about the ending, because I just watch it right now again. It goes like, okay, probably a good question was there an alternative ending before this? So this is your ending that you, Philip, suggested. Is that how it went? All right.
So the other ending was John looks at his phone, and then his wife comes up. She's like, "What is it? What is it?" And he's like, "Oh, nothing. The missile's still coming. We gotta, get going, keep on going." Right. He was gonna lie to her because he just killed that guy, and didn't want to ruin what he had with her. He was starting to, get her back, but then Philip's like, "I don't want to begin the relationship again with deceit." And so that was really good, and it proved to be epic. It was great.
Okay, Philip, how long were you in Hawaii to do the entire thing?
I think we were there 2 weekends, right? Was it two weekends?
Yeah, I think so.
So just over 2 weeks, I think. We flew in on a Thursday or a Friday. We got shooting on the Saturday, Sunday, had that week off, and then hello?
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah, you're good.
My phone just did something funny. I was like, oh no. and then we shot a Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So I think we shot the whole thing in 5 days, didn't we? Well, with principals.
Yeah, we planned for 4 days, and we knew that Philip would be available on Monday if need be. And sure enough, we had a big reshoot day on Monday, because it was so ambitious, really. The first day was all Philip at his house, and and then the second day was it the dry? No, I'm sorry. Was the first day at the harbor?
The first day was at the harbor.
Yeah, so the first day was
the very first day, right?
We had the pull up, we had the big fight, we were on the water for half the day.
Right.
And we had this dramatic scene, the ending scene with him and Katrina. Right. And I'm like, sorry guys, you're just meeting. And you have this totally intense scene that we have to get. So you have to pretend like you have to act like you've been together forever and went
like you really care about each other. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and have an intimate scene on the boat, and of course they were champs. So yeah, we shot for 4 days, and then on the 5th day we had some pickups because fortunately he was already here, and so we got him and Katrina back on the boat, got a few more scenes, and got a bunch of drone stuff, because originally when we were on the water, the first day we were on the water, for some of the distance shots, we had 2 boats originally, right? One to film off of and one to film him. But I didn't have a steady cam. And so the operator was trying to track the boat, and he was like this. And I'm like, oh, it's not
it was really choppy, remember?
Yeah, it was really choppy and windy. Yeah, so then on the second time around, we had a drone, and waters were more still, and it worked great. So we had a total of 5 days.
Okay, so you shot that on a 5-day schedule, and your crew was like, I know if you see I'm sure you guys are both on television, so you have hundreds of people working around your butt. But
Yeah.
this one, it's a very short film, and you said you use most of the people from 50 and Magnum PI. You have one steady cam and one cam operator and a drone. Is that how you operated
You
on
would
it?
think so for a short film, right?
Yeah.
You would think so.
Right.
But what's so crazy is, I'm gonna make the screen bigger, is that all the advice I saw or heard about short films was like, keep it small, keep it short, right?
Right.
And keep a tight crew. I was thinking like, oh, maybe we'll have like 11 people, have like myself, like maybe a script supervisor, sound guy, and this and that. And then it gives me chills right now, actually, because we ended up having like, I think on IMDb there's only about 60 people listed, but we had on one day like the war sequence. I think we had like 100 crew there.
Oh, it was incredible.
Yeah, we had trucks, we had the 3 camera. It was 3 cameras we had operating, and then we had the total pros operating from 50. We had Greg Lunsgaard, Jim. We didn't have Dave, but we had a bunch of guys, and we had a second unit.
Yeah,
on the war sequence. I mean, a second unit on the short film.
You're a very spoiled short film director.
Yeah.
Seriously. I mean,
Yeah.
if short filmmakers are gonna see this or hear this, okay, they're gonna be so jealous, because most of the time, short filmmakers have one camera, lucky if they do, and one audio guy, lucky if they do.
Yeah.
But that was awesome.
I mean, everybody had their assistants. We had multiple cameras. We had multiple assistant cameras. We had our special effects team was 10 by themselves. We had 15 stunt guys and stunt coordinator. We had it was nuts. It got so crazy. Like, remember the third day when we were shooting the war stuff. I think it was the 4th day, maybe. Yeah, the 4th day I wanted to shoot the war stuff in case anyone twisted their ankle or something like that, because over at Haia, the roots, the jungles and stuff. And I remember looking around at one point, going from like unit to unit, just looking around, seeing all these trucks and people running all around the smoke machine, and like, this is nuts.
I mean, it was a legit film.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, for sure.
That 4th day, especially when we were bouncing between the second unit and getting pickup shots of the guys running through the forest and then doing the explosion. And also, Paul was making decisions through all of this. So it didn't matter. I mean, it was a gift that we had all these people, but what we didn't have was time. And so you could see the building, and Paul was having to make decision after decision, moment after moment, because we were just running out of time. Yeah. We had all vicious things to do, and we would get one of them, and then you would look at the next one and go, we don't have time for that. So he'd look at the script, he'd look at the list, he'd go, we're going to get this one instead, because I can tell the story that way. So Paul was having to edit in his head as we were shooting that 4th day, this flashback scene. And you could see him making these really smart decisions about it, because he knew we were running out of light, we were running out of time. And it was, as your friend go through this, you're just going, come on, buddy, you got this. Because everyone wanted it for Paul. That's why we were all there. I mean, great story. Everybody came out of the woodwork, and we wanted it for him. But like, you get on set and it led, and Paul really did. He really led this movie.
Thanks, man.
That's hard to do, because you're also making 100 decisions every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's good to watch you do that, buddy.
And thanks, man. That's really nice. And it was really stressful at one point when I had the initial part where you guys were at the trees, right? And fighting with the bad guys. I had this initial shot where I was going to go here and then flip over here and then go over here and do this and that. But the trees weren't working. Like, when we scouted, I couldn't really do that shot. I was going to try to figure out a way to do it on the day. And then when we were actually there about ready to shoot, it also wasn't working. So we had to come up with a new plan. And I felt the pressure of like, quiet. And I looked around and had like 70 people staring at me waiting for a decision. And I was like, don't freak out. Don't freak out. Don't freak out. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Yeah. And it turned out awesome. Like, the war scene. It's funny. I actually did consult with a big Hollywood writer. It was a friend of mine about this project. And he's like, dude, you don't need the war scene to tell the story, actually. And I was like, yeah, but it's cool.
Yeah.
Right. That's true.
And it does tell the story of his history with his Navy SEAL buddies and what he went through. And so, sure, I could have told that story with the flag hanging from the front of the house and the
Right.
flag in the kitchen, and you know, could have put on a Navy SEAL tattoo or something like that. But this I felt was a much better way to tell the story. And in hindsight, I would have incorporated Beulah more than just the phone call. I would have gone to his place and had him packing as well, so you can see that he's actually the one who's in the war and on the phone.
Right.
Hopefully, you can maybe infer that a little bit through his dialogue, but I'm not sure if the audience will pick up on that.
That's we're just gonna save that for the feature, Paul.
Yeah, I know. That's
I was gonna say that.
Yeah, but really, it was like I didn't want to. I didn't want to put anybody out more than they already volunteered for. When I asked Beulah to do it right away, he's like, yeah, for sure, bro, whatever you need.
Yep.
But I didn't want to like go to his house, bring the crew there, not only because it was an invasion of him, he was already doing me a
Right.
favor, but we didn't have the time anyway. We barely had enough time to do. We had what, 4 locations, or 5 or 6 locations actually, maybe 7.
Yeah.
So we were really hard pressed, and so I forget where I'm going with all this, but yeah.
Well, but I
Okay,
mean,
this is probably. Yeah, go ahead.
time management.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna ask Paul. Everybody knows on Fiverr you are the best probably stunt guy we have, and
Thanks.
doing this project, which came first, the stunt guy or the director?
Oh, for sure, the
Or-
stunt guy. I mean, oh, do you mean in life?
No, doing the entire film. Did you have, like, you see Philip between Philip and Beulah doing all the, you know, the thing in the jungle. Sometimes, you know, the stunt guy's like, okay, you guys can do it that way, you swing it this way, do it this way, you know.
No, I think the director fully, like, I totally stepped out of my my stuntman shoes and went into directing mode. But no, with all my history in stunts, I knew what was safe and knew what was safe for the actors. And Philip, like, he's such a stud anyway, and so is Beulah, and everyone I had on, they're awesome. So I knew that I knew their potential, and so I fully knew what we could get with them. And so it was like a director mixed with a little bit of stunts in there for sure.
Okay, Philip, my question to you is like, was this your first time to work on a short film?
No, I've done a couple short films in the past. One was in London. I think it was a project called The Telephone, which I did with a couple friends who I met at the pub that was down the road from my grandmother's house. And I think I did another couple ones, maybe at drama school. Some of them kind of disappear because they were so long ago, but I've done a few of them. Certainly the most well-produced and well-oiled machine of a short film that I've been a part of, because sometimes you do them and you're like, yeah, let's see what happens, and they just completely just, the fact that there's a product out there that looks and sounds as good as this one does, I mean, it's winning awards, for crying out loud. It's great. I mean, Paul,
hey, congratulations.
right? So the fact that's happening with a short film is very cool. A lot of the time these are passion projects that get put together over a weekend, every weekend for about 6 months, and then somebody runs out of time and love and the things just don't work. But that didn't happen with this one. Paul bulldogged it and he made it happen. So yeah, I'm grateful to him for not only the opportunity, but the fact that he also took what we all put together and he made it into this film, because that doesn't always happen.
Now I remember when Paul sent me the video, so I actually watched it with my family, and my daughter goes like, oh my God, it's about time. Because she's been like, okay, there was nothing. Nobody even did anything. And we were waiting for Magnum or 5-0 to do a concept story about it. It never happened. So, and then when she was saying like, oh, it's about time. And then when the video was done, when the film was done, she goes like, it should be a full-length movie. So like, there's like the hanging. Okay, you gotta remember, I have a 16-year-old. So
Congratulations.
I have a 16-year-old looking at the way like, nah, it should be going full length. So are there plans on going full length?
Well, you know, I think that's every filmmaker's dream, especially a short filmmaker. Excuse me. So I did write a full-length feature script for it, and where it actually incorporates a few other stories, and then they all intertwine. I liken it to Crash meets No Escape, and yeah, so it's all written, and I've been sending it to a few people. It's just we have to get someone to bite, and I think it's really hard to do. So we're in the process of searching out, but we'll see. You know, it's if I had more money, sure, I'd shoot the short film or shoot the feature length and change some things. But it's all about getting the investors, and that's a little bit harder. It's easier to said than done.
Right.
It was a very, very telling. It was short. It was brief, but it told the story. Sometimes the problem, I think, well, what between the lack of budget as far as short filmmakers are concerned and the amount of time that you can put in making short films, is more. It restraint in telling the story, and I think you guys did it so well. It was
Thanks.
really, really good, and I'm so sorry that COVID is happening, and I know it restrains all of you from promoting it. Other than the film festival, and I think I wrote this on a question, what other platforms are you even going to show it to the public?
Yeah, for sure. But we did just start the short film, or we did just start the film festival process, and any rules for that is that you can't have it online for public availability yet.
Right, right.
And you can't put it on any platform yet. So while I'm promoting it, people are asking me, asking me, when can I see it? When can I see it? So I have been sending out to a few select people, and I have a few more to send it out to as well. But I think we're probably not going to be able to get it out until like June next year, just because the way the festivals line up, I can't get it out yet and put it out there yet. So unfortunately, people are gonna have to be dealing with me putting it on Instagram for the next 9 months.
Well, once it's out there, maybe you should do like a live streaming kind of launch.
That'd be fun.
Hopefully by the time next year, everything is up and running. But I think one of the best, especially Paul, you have the Hawaii 5 fans and the Magnum PI fans. When they see hashtag of 5-0, it just went ballistic like that. I know I'm gonna do CHPD Chicago hashtag for Philip, to be able to do that. But I'm rooting for you guys, and I want to thank the two of you doing this with me. I think it's an awesome project. As much as I want to spread it out, I know I can't, but I'll take it up. We'll talk about it and come back to me when we can talk about it more.
Yeah, I think maybe once we're about to, get it out there, I want to get it on I would love to get it on like Amazon or Netflix or something like that.
Right.
So if that could possibly happen one time, one day soon enough, then let's check back in and do a little launch party or something.
Yeah, and a lot of times stuff like this, it's funny. You'll talk to someone in passing, and they'll say, "So what are you doing?" You say, "Oh, I'm heading out to shoot this project, and I'm working on a post-production, bits and pieces, a short film that I did with a friend," and they'll go, "Oh, what is it?" And they're just interested. And little conversations like that have a funny way of snowballing and becoming, a year later, you're sitting there in Hawaii shooting the feature film, looking at each other going, "Can you believe this?" So I really do think something like that could happen. I think once people see the quality of this project, once people see that it's a really great story and the characters are all there, they're all fleshed out, and to make it an hours long and make it a feature is sort of a no-brainer. I mean, it's a great teaser into a feature film. So I'm hoping people get the bug.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, Philip, before I let you guys go, I know Paul is Paul, you are in Hawaii, right?
I am currently in Hawaii, yeah.
You're starting working with Magnum PI? No,
I'm not on there full time this year, but I do have some days coming up on it this year.
Okay.
I'm sorry, at the end of the month.
Nice.
And so I'm gonna try and be over there as much as possible.
And Mr. Winchester, what are you? Are we gonna see you on SVU?
I am.
Back in SVU?
No, I'm not going back to SVU. so Paul's got this film. I have a film out right now that just came out called Rogue Movie, which is the new Megan Fox movie. And
on Netflix, right? Or something, right?
It's on Amazon, it's on Netflix.
Yeah, it's Amazon.
Yeah. And then I'm going to Kenya in 2 weeks to shoot another drama with that same director, MJ Bassett. So we're busy, which, look, to be working right now is, man,
Yeah.
good. I mean, as Paul can attest, it's thin right now. So it's really, to have a job is a huge blessing.
Yeah.
Well, you guys stay safe. Keep in touch. You both have my email and my phone number. Holler if you need to promote, and I'll be happy to talk to you guys.
Well,
Thank
you're
you
one.
very much for your time and having us.
Oh, thank you. Stay safe.
You too.
And hope to see you soon. Bye.
Yeah,
Bye.
bye.
Bye.